Hello everyone, it is Kaiju Stuff here, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be reviewing the holy grail of Bandai creation. That being the Pack of Destruction set. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Starting with the box, it's got Godzilla written in very bold lettering. All the figures are in a bubble so you can see how nice they look. The classic Bandai creation picture of Godzilla breathing his atomic breath on the city. Pretty much the entire box is on fire because Godzilla wanted to commit arson. On the top it says Godzilla in that bold lettering again, and Pack of Destruction. On this side it says Godzilla once again, along with a picture of Godzilla 1984, which is weird because they usually use pictures of the Millennium Godzilla. If you guys want to read the description, you can, because I'm not. So pause the video now if you want to. On the back, it has some Bandai Creation Godzilla figures that you can collect. I personally have 3 of them, but not Gigan. If you guys want to read the descriptions, you can, because once again, I'm not reading these paragraphs. So pause the video now. On the right side of the box, it has Godzilla again, along with an advertisement for Godzilla Crumble Zone, another set that they made, which is also very sought after. And down here it shows that the buildings do indeed crumble. Because I would have never guessed that. I don't know if you guys would, but yeah. On the bottom of the box it says Godzilla, again, with all the trademarks. And Pack of Destruction, again. And without further ado, I will cut the tape on this and devalue it tremendously. And just to be clear, I did buy this sealed. To start off with the first figure, Godzilla 1954. Now what I find really cool about this guy is that he is one out of 2 figures to articulate. Moving on to the paint, his toenails have a nice bone white, along with the fingernails. And his dorsal plates are a little grayer, but still that basic bone white. Not to mention that the entire body is a nice charcoal gray color. And the teeth are really nicely painted. I feel like each individual one is not out of line at all. The one problem with his face though is that his eyes are a little derpy. The one points to the other way. But I find that to be fine just because of how tiny this figure is. Unlike SH Monster Arts. On to the next character, that being Burning Godzilla. I think this one definitely is the most emotion it looks. He definitely has the most dynamic pose, I think. It looks like he's ready for battle, compared to the 54 or really any other figure. Now you wouldn't really think it, but these figures are surprisingly bendy. For the paint job, he's got charcoal gray on the entire body, just like 1954. And he's got bright orange for the spines. For all the glowy bits, he's got light orange with some yellow highlights. I think it looks really nice. The toenails have a nice bone white again, along with the fingernails. The face is really nice because all the teeth are nicely painted again. The tongue has a nice red, and he's got like some glimmer in his eyes. I don't know, I think it looks really nice and it gives him character. It's really rare to actually see Godzilla with that. The next character we're going to do is Manila. Yeah, this one's pretty basic, so we should be able to just plow right through this one. Now, the entire body is just this mildewy color. I would say moldy looking color, which fits the Manila style. I would say in the movies he's a little bit more gray, but I like how green he is. He definitely looks like Manila. And I think this is the only figure in here where the teeth aren't colored, which I don't think Manila has big teeth anyway, so maybe they're just covered by the lips. Also, the eyes are nicely done. It also scales really well with the other Godzillas in the set. And what's better than a lizard? A moth. Here we have Mothra. This specific one being actually a 1992 Mothra, which is a little weird, because this is actually my first Heisei Mothra in the collection. Also, can we talk about how fuzzy this looks? They got the fuzz down to a T. And each wing is beautifully painted. The yellow complements the red, and the black complements the white. Looks really nice. And the rest of the body is primary white, but there is also some yellow sprinkled in there. The eyes are a nice baby blue, with the beak being brown, and the bottom being brown as well. And with Urza Mothra, by golly, there'll be a turd to go with it. Yeah, it's a little Mothra larva. Pretty neat. I mean, there's not too much for me to talk about because it looks like a turd, but it's supposed to, so that's fine for me. I mean, it's got nice brown paint and a black beak and some tiny baby blue eyes, which, to be honest, I think looks really nice that they got the paint all the way in there. The sculpt is really cool too. I like the little hairs. And going from something with no legs to really tiny legs. Here we have Amanda. One of my only Mandas, actually 1 out of 2. And out of the 2, this is my favorite. I like how this sculpt plays into the East Asian dragon of Manda's design. Unlike the 2004 Manda that was kind of just more serpent-like and less dragon-y. I like the whiskers and I really like the teeth. So, let's get right into the paint job. The entire body's a chartreuse color, which I really like, and he's got really nice sculpt. His whiskers definitely look like he wants to tie me to a train track, and his teeth are really yellow, which I find weird because everyone else has bright white teeth. So, do better, Manda. Also, might I add, his eyes have really good paint too. Anyway, let's just move on to the next figure. Also, I will say that this Manda will actually go really well with the Mezco Godzillas. So if you want a complete Destroy All Monsters Mezco Godzilla collection, you could technically do that with this Manda because it scales relatively well. Now we just need a Varon. Anyway, let's move on. Going from one of Godzilla's least powerful adversaries to the most powerful by far, that being Destroyer. Now, this is going to sound really weird, but this is by far my most detailed Destroyer in my collection because I don't have an SH Monster Arts Destroyer, and my Bandai ones are not that detailed. So one that is 2 inches tall is more detailed than one that's 8 inches tall. But that's besides the point. This guy's really cool, and I think we should just get to the paint. The wings have this blood red color going into this really dark red, and the entire body is this, what's essentially a black and red mixed together. I think it looks really nice, and definitely fits the Destroyer look. The nails are a bright white, along with the claws. The face is so intricately painted, I've a lost for words. The teeth are a bright white, the eyes are a bright yellow, and the horn being white. The chest lasery thing is a goldish orange, and I think it looks really nice. It reminds me of like a pit to the underworld. Really cool. Look, they can even fight. That was like Godzilla blowing up in the movie. Even though he didn't, because like the military stopped it because it freezed him. But if it happened, that's what it would have looked like. So, that's just a theory. A Toho theory. Let's just move on to the next character. Okay, yeah. But Mothra isn't the only kaiju to have different forms. Oh no. Destroyer has other forms as well. This specific form is the aggregate form, which I find really cool. But you know what's cooler than 1? 2. Yeah, I have 2 of these because about a year ago I went to the flea market and I picked up one loose, not thinking I would get the entire set one day, but I did. So now I have 2 of these, And I do believe that this is one of the only figures it's cool to get multiple of. And my reasoning is what I'm about to do right now. Okay, let's just go over here. Alright, let's go back over here. Alright, we're gonna put this here. Oh yeah, it's looking good already. Then we're gonna get this aggregate one on top of them here, like that. Oh yeah. Oh my god, this is why NECA was invented. Oh, this is looking good. Then we're gonna have him hold that one. Ooh, that looks great. I would just like everyone to appreciate that. If I had a third one, then forget about it, but this is incredible. Yeah. I highly recommend getting multiple of this specific one out of the set, because you can do so much with this and it looks so good. Oh my god, yeah. Anyway, let's do the actual review on the aggregate. Now, the body has that same dark red, black color, which I really like more than the bright red destroyers that we've been seeing lately. The orange is less shiny on the aggregate. It's more... I would say it's more flat rather than shiny. There is some lighter red on the bottom here. You could tell. Really neat. The eyes are a bright yellow, and the teeth on the mouth throat thing are also bright white, which I think looks really nice. Now, I don't know if you guys recall, but about 10 minutes ago, I said that the Godzilla 1954 is one out of two figures with articulation, and the second one being Mogira. Yeah, very interesting. I mean, they could have chose any other figure, but they chose this one, so I don't know. You would think they would choose, like, Destroya. Anyway, let's just do the paint. The sculpt is pretty good, and the paint is a flat silver, I would say, with the little hand thingies being a gray. One thing I really like about this set is that it's all very consistent. Every figure is not bad whatsoever, it's just there are ones that are better than other ones. And I also like how it blends together all the different eras of Godzilla. And last but not least, we have the Showa era Gigan. Now, this guy's really cool because I think he's got the most detail out of any other figure excluding Destroya in this set. And I also like how every metal bit, it's all shiny and pointy, unlike some Bandai figures that make it dull. And for the paint, most of his body's gold and this olive green, which I find to look better than the dark green that most Gigan figures use. The saw on Gigan's chest is a really shiny silver, along with his beak and top horns. I also like the nice crimson red for the eye. Now, today's comparisons are going to be a little different, because instead of doing my usual 4, I'm going to do one comparison for each figure. Starting off with the Godzilla 54, I chose the Gashapon Godzilla 54, because they're the same size and I think they look good next to each other. And for Burning Godzilla, I chose this bootleg Gashapon Godzilla Jr., which looks pretty similar to the real Gashapon Godzilla Jr. Look, you can even recreate the movie. And for Manila, I chose the Mezco Manila from the Destroy All Monsters set. I just think it's cool because I think you can use the Pack of Destruction Manila as like a newborn for this Manila. And for Mothra's comparison, I'm choosing the Rainbow Mothra from the Godzilla Hangers line, because they're both Mothras and I have every Godzilla hanger from that line. And for Mothra Larva, I chose the Bandai Batra, because they're both related, kind of. I mean, they both turn into the same thing. And for Manda, his comparison will be this Bandai Muto. I just got this, and I just wanted to show them off. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is my first Muto figure, and I didn't know what to compare Mana to, so I just chose this. And for a Destroyer's comparison, I will compare him to a Destroyer. The Destroyer. The Destroyer we use in our series. And for the aggregate form, I will choose this Bandai Creation Burning Godzilla, because they're both made by Bandai Creation, and once again, this just looks really cool, and I really like it. And for Mogira, I will compare it to this other Mogira made by Bandai, but this one's made by Japanese Bandai, and from another set that's really obscure. So if you guys want to see that video, let me know. And for Gigan, I chose this Gashapon Mechagodzilla, because I think they look really nice together. Oh no. And with that, guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. A lot of work goes into these videos. A lot of views go into these videos. But not many of you are subscribed, so it would be great if you guys would subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.